You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Nancy Red, and we're in the middle of a food fight. School lunches have long been lambasted as gross, but many kids depend on that big meal, which has gotten just a little bit smaller and healthier this year, which has apparently resulted in more food being thrown away. Joining me to discuss this, we have in our Google Hangout Jessica Donze Black, who's the project director of Kids Safe, and there's me, hi, who's the project director in Kids Safe. Joining me in the Google Hangout in a little bit, we will have Jessica Donze Black, project director of the Kids Safe and Healthful Food Project of the Peru Charitable Trusts. We also will have JoAnne Hammermaster, co-founder and president of the Virginia-based Real Food for Kids. Keri Wilmot, a pediatric occupational therapist, blogger, and parent. And Todd Howard, Lake County, Florida School Board member.
Well, I think probably the most important thing to realize at baseline is that whether or not it's having a huge impact or whether or not people are seeing something really different is a little bit variable depending on where you go to school. There are some school districts that saw these changes coming, saw the need for more fruits and vegetables, and started implementing those changes as many as several years ago. And so their students are seeing meals very similarly what they've seen in the past.
We can't just expect everyone to understand immediately, and our comments kind of get that. We've got one from W.T. Effington. Kids' taste buds are what they are. They won't acclimate to less fat, salt, and sugar if they're still eating that type of food outside the home. But also we have V.C. Eden. Kids will eat nothing but pizza, ice cream, and hot fudge if you let them. You can't give in to their feet stomping. Or JoAnne, can you?
I'm very much against just saying we have to give kids food, something that just give them food that they'll eat. That goes against, good sound judgment. We have an obligation to teach kids how to eat properly, how to make healthy choices. So just giving them pizza and French fries every day as an option that they can choose that, is not a very sound choice. So I think it's very important that we teach kids at an early age about healthy choices. But the thing is that one thing is making healthy choices, but if they don't have those choices available at school, how can they make those choices?
Part of the problem is that when they implemented these new rules, we actually did start on this about 8 months ago, and it's new to the kids, and the students aren't necessarily happy with it. And part of the problem when you bring in a federal regulation, those of us who are in the local politics and the local school systems have to find ways to make this work. And so it becomes a big learning curve for us. We're going to have to change, this causes us to change our labor hours. It changes how we prep. It may change the machines that we need in the kitchens. It's a large change. It's a large learning experience. One of the things that I suggested was that we put cameras in trash cans so that we can see the waste. And that will allow us to look at the different ways that we prepare the food and look at the consumption with those different preparations. Elementary school kids may eat sliced apples where they're not going to eat a whole apple.
Keri, as a parent, what has been your struggle with your children's school?
Well, my son is actually in daycare now, and he was originally in a family daycare that was subsidized by the government, and for the first year and a half of his life, I sent him with formula, and that was it. They provided whatever meals he had, and it was up to the daycare provider to be able to decide what she cooked for the day and what kind of meals that she offered them. And I think that it was important for me to decide, even as a parent choosing on a daycare provider, not just the environment, was it clean and safe, but also, because she was feeding him his meals, that was another contributing factor into me deciding where he went, and now he's in a center-based daycare. I pack his snacks and I pack his lunch every day, and the center provides him his breakfast. But, as a parent, you always want to, I always at least try to offer him, some kind of a healthy, fruit or vegetable or a protein source in his meals. But flip side of that is, that's my goal as a parent, but I work in a school system and I see the kinds of things that, when parents are often sometimes that don't have that priority out there, kids are bringing in lots of unhealthy choices. They're bringing in really, really large portion sizes of unhealthy choices, and I think it's up to a school district at a minimum level to be able to offer, healthy fruits and vegetables and, what's interesting is that I work in a school district that they have a food service, and they actually don't have choices. All of the kids have the exact same snack, and the snack is always a fruit. For lunch, it's pretty much that day is whatever that lunch choice is. So they're not walking through a lunch line deciding whether or not they're going to have the chicken patty or the sun butter sandwich or whatever it is. They all get whatever the school has decided is going to be that main entree for the day.